Alright, hey guys. So in the previous video, I said I would share my acne story, kind of the history, and I'm gonna try to keep it as concise as possible, but it does go back from like over 10 years ago. So, but I'll just start from the beginning, and that was, as you might have expected, when I was an adolescent, a teenager. I started, my hormones were changing, and that's when my skin started breaking out. And I think I was about 12 or 13. And so those first couple of years, I just, really wanted to get rid of it. I was embarrassed. You're going to school, your classmates, some have acne, some don't, but all you know is you don't want to have it and you want to get rid of it. So I tried all the over-the-counter products. I begged my parents for Proactive. I tried that. I tried every over-the-counter thing. I tried natural, like put this on it, put toothpaste, put baking soda. And my acne just continued to get worse and worse, and it got so bad that my mom eventually took me to the dermatologist. And I thought, thank the Lord, I am gonna have clear skin. They're gonna be able to just, help me out here. That's what I wanted. And I did whatever they told me to do. So they offered a couple different things and ultimately put me on antibiotics. And they also did some topical creams filled with antibiotics, steroids, chemicals, things you don't want on your skin. And I, of course, happily, unknowingly used those things. And I continued to use those all throughout middle school and high school. I had awesome skin, is it here and there, but nothing my creams couldn't, make disappear in a few days. So I had always been interested in health. I had, read health books for, calories and dieting and keeping your body healthy, and I was always really into exercise. But after graduating, my boyfriend got his own apartment and we got to do our grocery shopping together. And I helped him out with that. He got to eat whatever. I would go over to his place and we would just eat whatever we wanted. He got me into fast food, which I had previously been super against, but I'm not trying to blame him because I could have said no, but I gave in and I started getting addicted to the fast food, and we would go like every weekend to Burger King or McDonald's or wherever. We would have DiGiorno pizza every Saturday night and tons of just unhealthy packaged processed crap. And I knew it wasn't healthy, but I still was like exercising and I still looked good, and I was popping the pills for my acne and I thought I was healthy. So meanwhile, my boyfriend is getting like all these weird symptoms little by little. He's gaining a lot of weight and he's starting to have like chest pain, and then he developed eczema, and he went to the dermatologist, got some steroid cream, started using that. It worked, it went away, but he noticed his skin was thinning, and so he started reading the package inserts, started looking things up online, started realizing what was happening. I mean, on the insert it said that it could cause diabetes for the cream he was using for his eczema. So would you want eczema or would you want a risk of diabetes? I don't know. There might be something to help cure the eczema that doesn't cause diabetes. So we just really, our eyes were kind of opened, our minds were blown. We really just dove into what is really behind these drug companies and the food industry. And little by little, our eyes were opening. We started learning things. We started basically a whole health journey, and we're still on that health journey today. We still don't know everything. There's things that we'll find out that will blow our minds and we don't know yet, but at that point we were just realizing a lot of stuff. So that's when I decided to get off my antibiotics, because I realized that that was not good for the long-term health either. So I went on a Candida diet, and my boyfriend helped with that. He followed, we ate together, and when I would eat with him, it would be a meal that I could eat too. Although at that time, I really still didn't know much. I was eating a lot of meat. I didn't eat the fruit. I just wasn't sure what all to eat. I was young. I didn't really know a lot about cooking. And I lost like 15 pounds, and I was not in a position to lose that kind of weight. So that was kind of scary. People were telling me my clothes were so loose, and trying to, saying, oh, you're so skinny, and you need to eat more. And I did need to eat more, but I just didn't know how to maintain that diet and not lose that much weight. So I got off the diet. I think I'd been on the diet for 2 or 3 months, I'm not sure. But I went back to eating, not the fast foods anymore, but just eating more like fruits and all the other stuff that the Candida diet said not to eat. So I went back to a more regular diet. And then from there, I got the acne and went back on the pills. And I mean, at that point, for that time, it was in the winter, I wasn't getting sun, and my acne was so bad. It was the worst that it's been my entire life. And I still have scarring from that today. Like, I have my acne, my current acne, but I have scarring from back then when I was about 19 or 20, and it was awful. I did not want to go out. It was around Christmas time and my birthday and all the holidays, and it was a very dark, depressing time for me. Getting off of that diet and going back to the antibiotics, I felt like a failure, but I knew that eventually I wanted to get off of them again. I was just on them to clear it up and give my skin a break, and then eventually my plan was to go off. So I went off and on for the next couple of years. Sometimes I would go off and my skin would break out for a month, and then the next, once it broke out, then I would go back on, and it was kind of like that. But all the while I was learning more about health. When I was 22, I got married to that boyfriend, now my husband, and went on birth control, and that cleared up my acne, and that was really good, but it also brought along other side effects, and so I didn't want to stay on that. And I also knew that birth control wasn't natural, and so I just decided if I was gonna ditch it and try something else. So of course acne came back little by little. It took a little while for it to come off. I think all the hormone stuff was still in my body and chemicals, but eventually it did wear off, and acne again. So from there, just still trying to get healthier, learning more about foods and organic and GMO. So then fast forward to the age of 24, and me and my husband, we started traveling in our RV. We currently are. And we were at a farm, and we started learning about farming, and they had cows, and I got to have a lot of raw milk, a lot of probiotic filled yogurt, and the best of the best for that kind of food, meat a little bit. But here's the thing, we were working with some other people. So we went to the farm, and it's called Woof. That's kind of what we were doing. We were farm help, and there's another couple there that were woofers as well, and they were vegetarian. And just by being around them and realizing that they were healthy and they had tons of energy and they were older than us, and you know, that was really motivating. Like, oh, okay, so they look healthy and they're, you know, more energy than us, and they're older than us, and they don't eat meat. How can that be? So that kind of motivated us to give it a try. And so we started, little by little, we started decreasing our meat intake, and we were still drinking milk, still eating, you know, the yogurt and the eggs and meat here and there, but not like we were before, because my husband was really a big meat eater. I mean, ask him. You know, he was like the guy that had to have meat on every single meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so for us to cut back, that was a big step. And so we left the farm and continued on our health journey and traveling and realizing that we didn't necessarily need the meat, and we started finding out about industry and all of that dark stuff behind everything, and we didn't really want to partake in that, only if we found sources that we agreed with. And we still hold some of that mindset. We don't feel, you know, the need to eat any animal products, but at the same time we don't condemn it if it is done in a certain way and according to our moral standards. So, but that set aside, our diet changed a lot. When I was 25, 24 still, I was on antibiotics again, and I wanted to get off them. So I got off them at the end of the summer, and transitioning, I was turning 25, and my skin was doing okay. I had been off the antibiotics for 3 months, maybe 2 months, and I was like praising the Lord. I made a previous video talking about my skin, and I thought I was completely over it. I was like, okay, I've been off antibiotics for like 3 months now. It has to be cured. This is the longest I've been without having to go back on. Then that winter, I got sick. I don't know, I just didn't feel good, almost flu-like symptoms. And I had also, around the same time, some kind of dislocation in my back or shoulder, and I was in bed for days. I couldn't move my arm. I was in so much pain. I was planning to go to the chiropractor, and I had been praying, and I don't know what happened, but the next day I was fine. There was no pain. I just kind of rotated it and it was fine. So I don't know if I dislocated it and then I located it back in, but I can also attribute it to God and prayer. So, but that time though, because of being sick and all the inflammation, I think it sparked in my body again, because I got full-blown acne again. It just was like bam, and it hadn't gone away since. I knew a lot more about food at this point and knew I was not going back on those antibiotics, and I was so happy to be free from them for 3 months, and I did not want to go back. And I said, I'm done with them. I'm not doing them anymore. I don't care if I have to live with this the rest of my life. I'm not going on antibiotics again. Since then, I started trying the Candida diet, and now I'm here trying the raw diet. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's kind of my acne story. I know it's long and detailed, but I just wanted to give you guys that story. So if any of you out there have a similar story and can relate, let me know. And you know, we're in this together. You're not alone. I know I'm not alone. It feels like I am, but I know I'm not. And I'm on a journey to cure this acne, cure whatever it is inside that is causing it, because I know it's a sign from my body telling me something's wrong. So that's the ultimate goal, is to just clear and cleanse me from the inside out. And I'm trusting that God is going to lead me there, whether it's through this diet or some other way. But if you have any advice for me, I would love to hear it. I'm open to whatever advice you have pertaining to holistic things and non-chemical ideas. But yeah, and comment below. Let me know if you guys are struggling too. Let me know your story. I would love to hear it and connect with you guys. So, but thanks for tuning in and staying to the end of this crazy long video. And I'll catch you later.